Trump said he's making the trip because the residents of East Palestine are great people who need help now. Local residents have complained of health issues following the crash involving a train carrying toxic chemicals earlier this month. And if you haven't heard, it's about to get cold and windy with a chance of rain the rest of the week here in Sacramento. National Weather Service officials say rain is expected today and tomorrow morning with highs in the upper 40s to low 50s. Rain will continue on Friday morning. Now traffic and weather together. Here's KFBK's Roy LaMello.
And right now we're taking a look at southbound 99 through the Outgrove area. Traffic running a little sluggish just after Sheldon Road, all the way down towards Elk Grove Boulevard. Once you get past that, no delays making your way down towards the Gulf area. And still got some slow traffic just south of the Walnut Grove area on southbound 5. Caltrans doing some road work right now between Peltier Road and Turner Road. Looks like some paving operation with one of the two lanes closed. You hope to have that finished by 3 p.m. Right now, traffic is backed up. Starting at Peltier Road, says it needs up to get to about just before Highway 12. And then after that, no delays down towards the Stockton area. Traffic on the 10s every 10 minutes. Mornings and afternoons. Roy LaMello, KBK News Radio, 93.1 FM, 1530 a.m.
Much cooler weather in store for us the next couple of days with a partly cloudy sky, some afternoon showers, highs around 50 to 54, and the temperatures drop tomorrow with variably cloudy skies, a possibility of a light shower, 48 to 52. I'm AccuWeather's meteorologist Jeff Nordine on KFBK, Sacramento's News Radio.
Mostly sunshine right now, 49 degrees in Sacramento. Dana Hess, KFBK News Radio.
Breaking news, local news, traffic, and weather. Trusted for 100 years. KFBK, Sacramento's News Radio.
Hey, good morning. You're headed to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code DRIVE for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code DRIVE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code DRIVE.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Sacramento area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com. It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404.
Hey there, it's Pat Walsh for Bridgehaven Homes. Bridgehaven Homes are different. They buy as-is properties. That means you don't have to do any staging, any cleaning, any remodeling, repairs, any of that stuff. And you avoid the realtor commissions. And you know what? You get a fair all-cash offer for your home instantly. Maybe the house is outdated, needs some work done. Maybe the prior rental property was damaged by tenants. Bridgehaven Homes, they can help. Call Aaron and Shane at Bridgehaven Homes. Tell them Patrick sent you. Call them 916-545-2500 or go to bridgehavenhomes.com.
The check is good, the experience is smooth, and the reviews online are wonderful at GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it and you're earning the winner.
Sacramento news voices you can trust. Christina Mendoza and Sam Shane at KFBK Morning News on KFBK News Radio.
Welcome back in. Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. Wednesday edition of the program. Rolling through all of it with you. And we are joined now. He's in our New York City studio. I will be doing the show there Friday. I'll be up in New York. But we are joined right now by a guy who's doing good work, Steve Krakauer, editor of the Fourth Watch Media and executive producer of the Megyn Kelly Show as well. His most recent book uncovered how the media got cozy with power, abandoned its principles, and lost the people. Book is at readuncovered.com. Steve, we were just talking about the Don Lemon mess, and I know you and Megyn on that show have been discussing it quite a lot, and the question I just asked Buck, you may have heard, as we went to break is, if Don Lemon is not gay and black, is he still employed at ESPN? Probably still be employed there too, but at CNN, based on what he said?
It's hard to imagine that he would be at this point. And I think the other thing that's interesting is that Don Lemon represents the old CNN, the Jeff Zucker era CNN, where when he was made into a primetime star. Already in this new era, he's been relegated to the morning show. And he's one of three there. He's already been, had other controversies with others, of his colleagues. I can't imagine that Don Lemon is long for CNN. I'm kind of shocked he came back after his, as you mentioned, the one-day re-education camp on women and gender and sexism. I don't think he's part of the long-term plans of CNN, and I don't think he should be if what they care about is trying to get back to news and objectivity, because he, more than perhaps anyone, went down that real ridiculous rabbit hole during the Trump era, and it really helped contribute to the loss of credibility that CNN had. They're not trying to build themselves out of. Hey, Steve, Buck, you and I both have some time, you considerably more, but some time over at CNN back in the day, and it really did change, and it really has become a journo dumpster fire. I mean, I think that even people on the Democrat side of the aisle will say that what's gone on over there is not what they intended, that's for sure. Is it salvageable? I mean, do you talk to people on the inside still who feel like there's some way to turn this around? Or is in the back of their minds the possibility that Trump will run just going to bring them back to their 2016 ignominious glory? That would just be disastrous for them if that is what happens. And it's going to be hard to fight against that, because Trump, imagine, was good for business, and he was good because, and he became this focus because it was personal. That Zucker had a personal relationship with Trump. He felt, basically Trump was a turncoat to his class, to the media class there. And that's part of the reason that they went down that the guardrails were completely off during the Trump era. I think that it's possible, but it's going to take some really full-scale changes, because as you mentioned, I was at CNN in 2013. I worked there for about 3 years. In 2013, less than 10 years ago, it was like a lifetime compared to the way it's evolved in 2015 and 2016 when that all happened. So yes, I think that what happened in 2016 is that there were people inside CNN that felt that there was this real existential threat to democracy that they had to fight against. And I write about this in Chapter 6, including my experience at CNN, but also what happened since. And so even if they believe that, and I personally obviously did not think that there was an existential threat with Trump, but if you believe that, then what you need to do is double down on your principles. That's the time that you really kind of dig in your heels and say, if this is important, we need to make sure the public trusts us when you tell us about that. Instead, they did the opposite. They decided that apparently now is the time you can abandon your principles because it's too important. No, the journalistic integrity, that's for another time. Right now, we need to take down Trump. And that just completely destroys the credibility. And I do think it's going to take real change. I mean, they've already had some of the staffing changed from that Zucker era. I think it's going to take some more. You need to get new people in there so that they can regain that trust, because they need to get back to news. I think that we need a strong CNN. Right now, it's a mess still.
Yeah, and it's not just CNN, by the way. Yeah. I'm sure you saw the numbers on Gallup, where basically the vast majority of the American public, certainly Republicans and independents, don't trust the media anymore. And I think COVID accelerated that. Is that reversible, or do you think we've moved into this new era where basically people go out and follow people whose opinions they find interesting or they agree with, but this idea of a Walter Cronkite-like figure or a CNN during the initial Gulf War era has basically gone forever, and there isn't going to be a very trusted form of media?
Right. You're right. It's much bigger than CNN, and I think that there's a lot of reasons for it. And I do think that there are elements that they can get back to. I think that the days of the Walter Cronkite and the trust and the giant audiences. I mean, just the way that the audiences have shifted now. There's so much more choice now in how you consume your media content. So that's all playing a factor in this. But I really think that we're living in an era, and I try to lay out 5 specific problems that make this particular era really challenging for the media and lead to these giant problems. And one of them is social media. I mean, the New York Times, every single day, it's a giant news organization. Every day, there's some good journalism happening at the New York Times. But every single day, they are undermined by their own staff. They've done lower-level staffers who spill out their thoughts all over Twitter on every possible subject, like it's their diary for everyone to read. And that is just so unlike any other occupation. Like, you don't have, Bill, your accountant, who does your taxes, tweeting incessantly about January 6th and the riot. Those people, most of the country, have lives and families, and they go outside. But the corporate media, the pundits, the journalists, they spend all their time talking nonstop to each other on Twitter. And until you can actually get them to pull back from that, until you can get them to actually go back to doing the work of journalism and not trying to make themselves into stars, then you aren't going to be able to solve the problems that you have at the core of what's wrong with the press these days.
Speaking of Steve Krakauer, he's got a new book out, Uncovered How the Media Got Cozy with Power, Abandoned Its Principles, and Lost the People.
Steve, is there an incentive for these organizations, whether it's New York Times, CNN, any of them, is there really an incentive for them to go back to doing journalism, or do you think that they just use the business model now as the more insanely anti-MAGA, left-wing, trans rights for kids? I mean, just the most hardcore left-wing stuff. It feels like the trend is to just try to fight over more and more slices of the left instead of trying to broaden it out and do more information gathering and I guess what people would call journalism.
Yeah, the incentive structure is completely broken, but I do think that when you see the successes of people rising to power, and think about it, it's not just money that's what they're losing, because they made gobs of money under Trump, and then now they're starting to lose money. You see the worst ratings of all time for CNN and MSNBC last year, but it's also power, institutional power, corporate power. When you have the likes of Joe Rogan becoming the most powerful voice in a lot of ways in the press, doing it completely outside of the gatekeepers, but you have other people on Substack, great journalists who are building real news organizations for themselves. When you have that, the corporate media has to look at that and see why is it that we're losing not just audience, but actual power, and make some adjustments to it. So I'm not seeing that happening yet, but I do think that we're at this really clear inflection point right now, that this is a moment where there will be changes. There will be winners and losers that we don't know yet, both on the independent side and on the corporate media side. And it's because of the success of the independents, because of the success of people who are accruing an audiences finding people from non-traditional ways, that's going to force the corporate media, hopefully, to really light a fire under them and say, let's get this right and let's actually start to do the work of getting people to trust us again, because right now they don't.
No doubt. Steve, I did your podcast recently. We had a good time. How can people find that if they want to see more of you interacting with Buck and myself?
Yeah, absolutely. So the newsletter, which I write and do the podcast, is fourthwatch.media, and the book, which I get into all of these problems and really try to lay out some solutions to say, listen, is at readuncovered.com.
Thanks for being with us. Steve Krakauer, good to talk to you.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Every day, your home movies and photos are slowly fading away. That's because those videotapes you bought once upon a time weren't meant to last more than a couple of decades. The magnetic tape starts to degrade, and the color fades on photographs and the albums that you've stashed away that are collecting dust. It's time to digitize what is on those tapes and in those albums. You can do it easily with the Legacy Box. They've done it to more than 1 million families already. You can trust your precious memories on film and tape with the Legacy Box. Clay and I both used them to preserve our own family's treasures, and the outcome was phenomenal. It's like opening...